Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into something really cool, a super fascinating connection between your own personal growth and, get this, the fundamental forces of magnetism. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds a little out there, right? But trust me, the connection is actually incredibly deep. Turns out, both are driven by these powerful, invisible forces that give them direction and momentum. If you stick with me, you're going to see how understanding one gives you this amazing new way to think about the other. So let's get into it. Any great journey has to start with knowing your starting point, right? Where are you right now? And when it comes to personal development, that really means finding your own internal navigation tool. And that starting point, that first step for any real growth is self-awareness. It's all about looking inward, figuring out what truly drives you. We're talking about your core feelings, what motivates you, your deepest desires. Because honestly, without that, you're basically just navigating blind, without a map. Okay, so let's run with that idea for a second. If self-awareness is your map, then it's also your compass. It's the tool that helps you find your own true north. But have you ever stopped to think about what actually gives a compass its power? What makes it point in the right direction? Well, it all comes down to a totally invisible force, a magnetic field. It's just this area where magnetism is happening. And our planet's core? It generates a massive one. It's this giant, invisible field that guides pretty much every compass on Earth.
And boom, that's the connection. It's such a brilliant illustration. Just like the Earth, you have an invisible field that's guiding you. It's your inner world of emotions, values, and motivations. And when you start to understand that inner world, through self-awareness, that's how you tap into your own personal magnetic field. That's how you get your inner compass to actually work for you.
All right, so you've got your inner compass. That's awesome. But here's the thing. A compass only tells you which way is which. It doesn't tell you where you should actually go. You have to define that destination for yourself. You've got to set your own magnetic north.
And that's where something like goal setting comes in, specifically using a framework like SMART goals. And look, I know this can sound like a business buzzword, but it's such a powerful tool for personal navigation. When you make your goals specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, you're basically turning a vague wish into a concrete destination. It becomes this fixed point on the horizon that your inner compass can actually lock onto.
Suddenly, your goals become these guiding stars, lighting up your path and giving you that constant, reliable direction. Once you've set that personal magnetic north, all your energy, all your effort, it can all align toward that one single point, pulling you forward with real purpose. Okay, so knowing where you are and where you're going, that's huge. But what's the engine? What actually moves you forward? Well, the answer lies in another set of invisible forces, your habits. And honestly, the parallels with magnetism here are they're fantastic. You gotta check this out. Think about your natural talents, right? They're like natural magnets. They're just these innate strengths you have that naturally pull you forward. Then you've got your conscious habits. Those are the positive routines you intentionally build. They're like permanent magnets. You put in the effort to magnetize them and they keep their force over time. And then there are cue habits, which are just like electromagnets. They only switch on when a current or a cue is applied. So here's the really cool part. You can build your own electromagnets. Once you understand the habit loop, you can literally design a current to switch on these incredibly powerful positive behaviors. All you do is find a cue, do the routine, and then give yourself a reward. That's it. That is how you harness these invisible forces to rocket yourself towards your goal. But life's not a straight line, is it? It's messy and unpredictable, and every single one of us, no exceptions, is going to face challenges that feel like they're threatening to throw us completely off course. It's just a simple truth, really. Setbacks happen to everyone. And man, they can feel so disorienting, right? They make you question your path, your compass, everything. So what happens when those guiding forces get all scrambled? Well, science actually gives us the perfect metaphor for this. It's called a geomagnetic storm. It's this huge disturbance from the sun that can disrupt Earth's entire magnetic field. I mean, these things can knock out power grids, scramble communications. Basically, they make compasses go completely haywire. And that's exactly what a personal crisis is. It's our own geomagnetic storm. It disrupts our inner world and can make us feel totally lost. But the good news is, we can recalibrate. We can find our bearings again.
We do it by reframing obstacles as opportunities, by building up our resilience so we can bounce back stronger, by practicing a little self-compassion, and by working to maintain a positive mindset. These are the tools that help you find your true north again.
And that brings us to a final, and I think really crucial point: exploring the world around us with science and exploring the world inside us. Neither of these are one-time things. They are lifelong, ongoing journeys.
I mean, just look at how our understanding of magnetism has evolved over time. It started with the ancient Greeks just noticing a strange rock that attracted iron. Then, centuries later, the Chinese invent the compass. Then, we figure out the Earth itself is a giant magnet. And now we're exploring it at the quantum level. Our knowledge has been built layer by layer over centuries, and believe me, it is still growing.
In our own journey of self-discovery, it's no different. It's captured so perfectly in this idea that understanding yourself isn't some final destination you just arrive at one day. No, it's a continuous, ongoing process of learning and refinement.
So really, the big takeaway here is this. Just as science is constantly deepening its understanding of a force like magnetism, we should always be deepening our understanding of ourselves. With every step of the journey, our inner compass gets a little more accurate, our goals get a little clearer, and our ability to navigate those life storms gets a whole lot stronger. So I'll leave you with this thought. Your inner world, it is just as vast, just as powerful, just as complex as any force of nature. It's filled with all these invisible currents and untapped potential just waiting to be directed. So the only real question is, what invisible forces will you choose to harness?